Good morning, football fans. Did you miss us? Well, we have a new time and a new day. Except for, well, actually, no, not a new day, but definitely a new time. Today we're doing a little makeup show on Sunday, but it's alright, we're kicking things off here on Sunday, Halloween Day, y'all. It's Halloween. I'll go trick-or-treat. Y'all gonna get some candy? Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a good one today, I hope. So, NFL Day has arrived, but oh my goodness, do we have so much colleagues to get into. The craziness continues. I had no other choice but to name the episode something like that, because my gosh, the absolute nonsense in some of these games and the craziness in the other games is just insane. You got teams that, how the heck are some of these teams so high ranked? How are some of these teams getting blown out by good teams, by not even that great teams? Where are all the solid names we've seen over the years? And oh yeah, upsets galore. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, there you heard it. We are back and ready to roll. Okay, brief explanation. Sorry, y'all. As you know, it's been crazy. I mean, Cecilia and I have yet to get the Sports Club perspective back rolling on. It's just, once again, the chaos continues. We have some really cool announcements, but man, it has just been crazy. Now, as for Teran and I, yeah, it's like, we're good, Teran. Let's do our show on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Sweet? Or 8 a.m. Pacific time. Sound good? Teran's like, yeah. Then out of nowhere, my second job is like, hey, you should work like 10 hours a week because, I need you to. And I'm like, all right, well, that's a great team and I love them. So, extra money, good money. We need the money for the wedding, Cecilia and I. And then out of nowhere, I'm like, yeah, well, the best time could probably be 8 in the morning because it literally is the best time for me because, it's still asleep. We don't really get up and do our thing until close to the afternoon and everything on Saturdays. So I'll just go in from 8 to 9:30. It's an hour and a half. That adds on and makes it 10 hours for my week. And, well, that's what I decided to do. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right, the show. Crap. So, from at least this coming week on, I guess this is the new week now. So from this week on, we will have this show right when I get home from training people, because I'm a personal trainer now in the night. we'll be going live from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, once again, our apologies for the moving around, but that should be our final solid time, and we should be good to go. So, with that said, let me introduce my co-host, man. He's the man, y'all. He really is. He's the co-hostess with the mostest, if you will, because that's very cliche, but the guy's awesome, man. So, he is probably the hardest working man here at IE Sports Radio. No, he is the hardest working man at IE Sports Radio, and, of course, the founder of Set Point, our volleyball show, and the founder of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, our Southern California show, and overall great dude, and the co-host of this show, 3 and Out College Edition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome me, Mr. Teran Rodriguez. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Larry B. Great to be back here with you, talking some college football. I'm excited for it, and we've got some good games that happened yesterday, so let's get into it.
I'm with it, brother. I'll tell you right now, this has been insane. We had some great games yesterday and all over the place, really. But yeah, Teran, so overall, brother, we gotta get, adjusted to the new time and everything. But today, we just get a little makeup show. We don't have a lot. It's because I got my show coming up at 8 o'clock. So, yeah, guess whose coffee machine is going to be working in a little bit? Mine! So, hold on, you guys. We'll get there. But with that said, Teran, let's get to it today, man. We, of course, have our new format. We're doing all D1 single A throughout the entire show, but we're sprinkling in, of course, all the great stuff from the Triple CAA, the NJCAA, the NAIA, what do we got here? The NCAA Division III, Division II, and Division I AA in the FCS, and of course talking about the Division I overall single A FBS. So let's start things off with Thursday night. We had two games, Ben. Coast Carolina has definitely taken their licks this year, but they've certainly proven themselves to be one of the better teams in the country, which is amazing because to think that they've barely been D1 for not too many years, but hey, the Chanticleers are doing it. Well, they knock off Troy at 35-28 on Thursday night. Then we have East Carolina. Big shout out to Angela, of course. Angela, her team, Angela Winstead in our PR department. Her Cardinals played on Thursday night versus the Packers, and, well, unfortunately it didn't end up so well for them because, well, you never count out Rodgers. I mean, I think that's a lesson that we've all had to learn. You just don't count them out. But I know she was happy for this game because East Carolina did defeat South Florida 29-14. Then on Friday, Navy beat Tulsa 20-17, and Nevada. UNLV has won some games this year that have been actually, no, they haven't. They have yet to win any games. I'm sorry. They've lost every game. But, you'd expect it's a rivalry. UNLV is playing on straight, just want because, well, there's no bowl game or anything going on. So Nevada, though, just knocks them out of the park, 51-20. And, yeah, so that little in-state battle was not much of a battle. And that's how it goes. So, Teran, any insight or any comments or anything like that for those four games from Thursday and Friday?
Well, I'm surprised UNLV was able to put up 20 on Nevada, but it looks like that Nevada's most likely going to have the Western Division in the Mountain West Conference within their grasp. But they also have to keep an eye out for SDSU and Fresno State, which we'll be getting into in a little bit. But that Navy-Tulsa game was a thriller, and then Coast Carolina was able to survive against Troy. But too many points scored.
Too many, that's for dang sure. So, yes, Tara, absolutely, man. So, real quick, brother, we had ourselves some great high school football, as a matter of fact. The regular season has officially come to a close, and, well, the playoffs are coming on up, man. So, at least that's what I think, because I know a lot of I think that was the last game on the schedule for everybody. Last night, I'm sorry. 2 nights ago, Modern Day will take on another solid football program. Regardless, J. Sarah has been nothing solid this year. They fell out of the top 25. They were 3-6 coming into this game, and, well, Teran, they're playing Modern Day, and yeah, when you're playing Modern Day and you're 3-6 on the year, when you probably should have been a little better, you're probably not going to get the dub, So, I hate to say it, but Modern Day puts up 56. Just 14, so final score 56-14. Solid performance from Modern Day, as always. J. Sarah, I guess that's what you expect from them. And that's what went down this week, at least for our number one overall team in your neck of the woods. Teran, you want to go ahead and give us a little bit more on that Modern Day game, and of course, any games around your neck of the woods in Orange County?
Oh, there was an even bigger game in the Trinity League. Servite and St. John Bosco. Servite having one of their better seasons out there, and then St. John Bosco still being one of the top teams in the Trinity League. Everyone thought that this was going to be Servite's year to knock off Bosco, but Bosco being the talented team that they are, shut out Servite in the second half and won 24-10. That sounds like more of your game, and
yes.
It looks like St. John Bosco is going to be the number 2 seed coming up in the playoffs, and then Servite's going to be the number 3 team, as it looks like the stars have aligned for that division. But as for J. Sarah, they actually are most likely going to be in the playoffs, and according to the new playoff system, J. Sarah is projected to be in Division 4, despite having a 3-7 record and an 0-5 league record. So you also have to factor in that J. Sarah has played a tough schedule and whatnot, and even though they didn't win a league game, and even though they are 3-7, they're still going to be in a higher division just because of all the stiff competition they played in the Trinity League. And that could be rather fascinating to see if you're a high school football fan, because JCR in Division II, can they really pull it off, or will they crumble to like some of the more superior teams? Like Division II is going to be really fun, and Division I is basically going to be just a 3-horse race with Mater Dei, Servite, and Bosco. Like whoever is the 4 versus 5 should basically get a trophy that says semifinal place winner. Then the projection for that is probably Mission Viejo versus Corona Centennial. This is what I've been hearing, but the brackets will come out today.
We'll find out. Looks like this game's already in place, though, Teran. I'm looking at St. John Bosco right now, and they're playing Los Alamitos next Friday.
What?
Actually, on the 12th. So we're going to skip one, and I'm looking at Max Preps right now. Los Alamitos, pretty cool, man. 9-1. I wonder what division these guys are in, because Los Alamitos, man, the Griffins, this of course, is one of Orange County's star teams. It's not a Mater Dei. It's not a St. John. Well, St. John Bosco, I guess, is considered LA County, but it's not a Mater Dei. It's not Servite. It's not a J. Sarah. But Los Alamitos is actually a public school, which is, it's already crazy enough because it's a public school. You don't usually get this from the public schools, but they're a solid program. They went 9-1 this year, and they just, unfortunately, Teran, I'm sorry, but yes, they did beat Newport Harbor on Friday. I'm sure you know this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to say the score.
Yeah, I see it. I saw the score.
But, yes, Los Alamitos looks like, Teran, if you take a look at the Max Preps website, brother, looks like Los Alamitos, man. Looks like St. John Bosco. They're first up in the playoffs.
Well, that's rather interesting. They leaked the playoff matchup already. That's weird, I guess. But
yeah,
I did get speculation that Los Al could be in Division I, and they could be facing Bosco or Mater Dei or Servite. But that's rather an interesting game, considering they're both in the Long Beach area, with Los Alamitos being in Los Alamitos and then Bosco being in Bellflower. So I think that'll be a great game, but unfortunately, Bosco, being the talented team that they are, will most likely rule the victory. However, don't count out Los Al. You mentioned that they're a very talented team. They have a bunch of stud players. Malachi Nelson, Makai Lemon, they're both going to Oklahoma, and I think one other player is going to Oklahoma as well. I think his name is Nigel Osborne. I'm not entirely certain, but it looks like Los Al is basically Oklahoma Junior. And and the scary part about Los Alamitos is that most of those players, or the 2 players that I just mentioned, they're only juniors. They'll be back next year. So Los Alamitos will be coming back for being in Division I and their prowess.
Certainly a solid football team, man. So, and a great program. So let's go to the top 25 real quick. Not going to go over pretty much everything, but we're going to, kind of cut it short today. But just taking a look at everybody, man. From 25-21, Thompson out of Alabaster, Alabama. 9-1 so far. Solid for St. John's out of Washington, D.C. 7-0. Year number 23, you got Milton out of Georgia, the Milton Eagles. 7-1. Dutch Fork, Irmo, of course, out of Irmo, South Carolina. Solid stuff here for them. 8-0 on the season. Just monstrous football team there. You have North Cobb out of Kennesaw, man. You got a little bit of let's see here. 7-1 season out of Kennesaw, Georgia. Then next up we have, that's it. So to 20-16, we have Bixby. 8-0 on the year out of Bixby, Oklahoma. Catholic BR, of course, which is out of Baton Rouge. 8-0. Then we have Hoover. Hey, the Hoover Buccaneers, man. 10-0 out of Hoover, Alabama. Certainly one of the top schools in the country. They're undefeated right now, looking sharp. Bishop Gorman. Still, that loss to Hamilton just rings. It's just insane. But they are currently 9-1 on the season, or 8-1 at number 16. Or number 17. At number 16, we have St. Francis Academy. Currently holding down the 16th spot at 5-1. Not quite sure. Wow, they're behind. I guess I don't know how that's going down, but COVID, I guess I don't know. But Hamilton out of Chandler, Arizona, 7-0. Then we have, this is from 15, by the way, to 11. St. Thomas Aquinas out of Fort Lauderdale, 9-1 on the season. Number 13, hey, the Football Factory out of the Inland Empire. Yay, because this is all we got to cheer for in the IE for high school football, at least as of right now. Centennial, 10-0. Man, this team is solid. I really hope they make a solid run this year, man, because I'm all for the Huskies, man. I'm what can I say? Like I said, that's all we have here in the IE that's like 100% legit, like super duper superpower school. So Jesuit out of Tampa, we have 8-0 at number 12. Next up, Chandler, 7-0. This is Chandler, Arizona, by the way, guys. Sorry earlier, I don't know what Chandler I was reading. This is Hamilton out of Chandler, So Hamilton out of Chandler, Arizona, and then Chandler itself, it's at number 10, sorry. Katy, Texas, 8-0 this year, number 9. Center Grove out of Center Grove, Indiana, currently 8-0. Collins Hill out of Swanee, Georgia, another Georgia school, man. Georgia schools don't play, at 9-0. Bergen Catholic out of Oradell, New Jersey, at 8-0. And then your current top 5, Servite, despite one loss, man, 8-1. That is how powerful this Servite team is, man. The Friars are solid. Number 4, St. John Bosco, 8-1 on the year. Westlake, Austin, Texas, one of course, top teams in the country, 8-0. IMG Academy, as we know, 7-0 out of Bradenton, Florida. And then, of course, number 1, Mater Dei, it says here, 7-0, which I thought they'd have a lot more games played, but I guess no, 8-0, sorry. And, yeah, that's where they are right now, undefeated at the top. Usually, that's just what Mater Dei does. So, any last little thing to close it off? Some of the playoffs are starting. CIF it's for sure in the southern section. I think getting ready to start this week. Anything to close off this high school section?
So, obviously, this needs to be addressed, and this has been getting national news all over the world. Inglewood and its football team defeated Morningside, get this, 106-0. I was just looking at that, I'm like, what? And get this, it was 52-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then it was 86-0 at halftime. And there wasn't a running clock till like midway through the second quarter. And eventually the score wound up being 106-0. And Inglewood's quarterback threw for 13 touchdowns. And it was just basic. There were mixed feelings. Some were saying they shouldn't have ran the score up that much. And then eventually the school district came out and said, these are not our values. This is disappointing, yada, yada, yada. And some people are saying that if you don't want the score to be that high, be better or something like that. Like, it's so weird because you kind of have to have a mixed bag of feelings as well, because it is a rivalry game, but you don't want to, like, demoralize the kids like that. It's like, come on now. It's like black and white when it comes to this debate. It's just a little food for thought. Because, however, back on October 12th, 2019, Kansas Weiselin was able to shut out its opponent, St. Mary, 90-0. But there was no national uproar on that. And keep in mind that Kansas Weiselin held St. Mary to negative rushing yards. They had 793 yards altogether, and then once again they put up 90 on them. And then there was no national uproar there, or no one said, "Oh, they shouldn't have ran the score." Although it's college football, but still, it's just something to ponder. They never got national uproar, but Inglewood and Morningside got uproar. So just a little tidbit right there.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's playoff position that they're just put with the score for. Sometimes, I mean, it's just absolutely just, okay, need to, not be so cold-blooded and show some respect at least. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's just weird how things pop up and how the scores get so high. But with that said, Tim, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, y'all, we're going to jump right back into the NCAA single A. We've got a lot of games this week. Once again, Cincinnati, man, how on God's green earth? I mean, the Bearcats, I am, wow. They've always been that team that's, like, scary, but it's not good enough to be solid, like a top team. Well, now they are, and it's just crazy to see this happen. Yeah, we got the Paul Bunyan game, y'all. What a freaking game that was. Wisconsin can lose to, like, all the top teams in the country, but they're not going to lose to number 9. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm just saying. Miami gets lucky. No, I'm kidding. No, Miami actually wins a solid football game. They really do. West Virginia has an upset. I mean, there were so many upsets this week. It is absolutely incredible. And oh yeah, did I forget to say that USC won a football game? What? Anyway, with that said, you guys, this is 3 and Out College Edition. And we will be right back, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
love college football? And do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well, then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. That is right, your direct feed for all that is sports, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you here today. Well, early morning here on the West Coast, and certainly mid-morning over there for you on the East Coast, but we are back at it right now, talking some, well, everything that's not the NFL football. That's basically what the show is. So, real quick and dirty, on Friday we had a couple games in the CCCAA. San Mateo knocking off Diablo Valley 24-7, and well, that makes the San Mateo 8-0 now on the season. Let's just face it, y'all. They are a solid football team. San Mateo did lose to my school, RCC, 2 years ago in the championship, the CCCAA championship, and RCC definitely fell off, damn it. But it is what it is. We got our national championship, and I'm happy. But, yeah, San Mateo looks to be the new top dog, at least. I mean, they are the Bulldogs, haha, pun intended. So they're 8-0 in the season. And then we have San Francisco City College knocking off Laney. They were the champions from 2018, and, well, that's a rivalry game, the city versus the town. And, yeah, Frisco will just stomp a mud hole in Laney, man. 46-7, tough game for those guys, but certainly a great game for City. 46-7 on the road, 8-0 now for City, just a huge game. And then just a couple of different little trinkets of CCCAA for you this past week. Golden West, Teran, what in the crap is in the water in Golden West? Because they just knocked off San Bernardino Valley 45-21. They are looking good. A couple of different games that were solid as well from around the top 25 at least. Let's see. We have American River and Butte, actually. American River over Butte, 17-10. Let's see. Ventura and Allen Hancock. Ventura had to fight like hell for this win, but they got it 35-34. Big victory there on the road over Allen Hancock. Ventura was facing their first loss of the season, but they certainly earned it there. Grossmont defeats College of the Desert 23-13 at home. Long Beach has just had better years as they will fall to Bakersfield. Bakersfield earning their second victory of the season, 28-14 at home over at Long Beach. RCC, you know what? We may have lost 2 games, but damn it, you beat your rivals, and that's what we did. Riverside on the road in Murdoch Stadium. Fun fact, where the final game of the longest yard was actually filmed. We have here Riverside Community College defeating El Camino 34-27. So congratulations, Tigers. Good game there. Canyons, freaking College of the Canyons will lose their first game of the season. This is insane. 10-7, my kind of football game. ELAC, y'all. East Los Angeles. People may know this school because of Last Chance U basketball. Well, guess what? The Huskies make it happen on the football field, defeating an undefeated team, man. So congratulations to ELAC getting that victory there. So a lot of just fun games, man. And, well, I don't think there's very many more that are, like, high ranked. Oh, Fresno City knocks off Modesto 22-16 on the road. Fresno is now 7-1. Modesto is 5-3. And that's really it. So, Teran, any comments or anything on any of these games or any games in CCCAA?
Well, in terms of rivalry games, Santa Ana was able to knock off Orange Coast College 56-14, and they earned the victory flag back. So, yeah, it's been a while since Santa Ana has gotten that victory flag back. It even got to the point where Santa Ana actually had to leave OCC's conference because they were kind of getting bullied, and then this eventually propped the whole 3C2A competitive equity conference placement.
Yeah.
And then about the Golden West game, Golden West actually had to rally back from 21-17 down at halftime to eventually scoring 28 unanswered and winning. So I think the score in that game is a little misguiding just because San Bernardino Valley played a great first half, but I think Golden West, being the great team that they are, made the adjustments. And this is actually rather interesting. Golden West is 8-0. This could be one of Golden West's better teams. Like, I've seen Golden West play, and they have a great program year in and year out, but this might be their rising point when it comes to this season.
Yeah, man. I mean, they knocked off RCC, so they knocked off the defending champions. I mean, they're a solid team, man, and it's just great to see, other teams moving up and doing their thing, and yeah, man, absolutely greatness there. So we're getting close, by the way, you guys. Playoffs are getting ready to start, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, next week or the week after. So we should be getting to that. And, of course, the bowl game's coming on up here in the next coming weeks. So we'll keep you in the loop for that. But moving forward, you guys, let's get back into this single A here, man. Teran, number 2, Cincinnati. And it just feels weird every time I say it. Number 2, Cincinnati. It still felt weird. 8-0, man. They knocked off Tulane. Tulane is 1-7. I mean, no surprise there, but it's just crazy to see that. Iowa was a team that was like number 2 or number 3, and it's just so sad. They've taken such a mean tumble, man, and now they're going to tumble even further. They will lose to Wisconsin. Let me remind you guys that Wisconsin, they're the most they are the roller coaster of the NCAA. I mean, how in the hell do you almost beat Penn State in the opener? Then you get smacked around by Michigan. I'm sorry, but I still don't really... I'm still not impressed with Michigan. I'm sorry. Am I bad for that? But anyway, yeah. Then they get blown out by Notre Dame, which, of course, that seems to be... But if you fight Penn State the way you fought Notre Dame, or if you would have fought Notre Dame the way you fought Penn State, you might have been closer. I'm just saying, but they didn't. So that happens. Then, of course... They'll have a really good game with Army, which I hate to say it, and I'm sorry to all of our service people, but Army is not that. They're not a top-ranked team, but Wisconsin struggles. They still win. Then they lose. Then they freaking knock off Purdue, which Purdue's actually pretty solid. I mean, what the hell is going on? And then out of nowhere, they're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe we are a good team. And they knock off. They freaking destroyed Iowa yesterday, 27-7, and Iowa is now probably going to go down even further for sure. So, Wisconsin, you are such a weirdo. I'm sorry, but what a year for this team. Let's go ahead and go over some of the more other games as well. Teran, you can chime in on these in a moment, but Miami actually knocks off Pitt, number 17 Pitt. What the crap, man? I mean, seriously, Pittsburgh, wow, yeah. So much for us giving you props this year. I can say, Miami, the team isn't what they used to be whatsoever, you guys, but Miami's still hanging around, 38-34, man. And this game was decided early, too. There was only one field goal scored by Pitt in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, Miami put the cleat in the butt, man. They freaking knocked them off. So I don't know what to say. But anyway, so moving on forward, we have some more weirdo games that I got to get to. West Virginia, Iowa State. I mean, it's like Iowa State had every chance to have their moment in the sun, and they're still ranked. But I don't know if they're going to be ranked after this week. Freaking West Virginia knocks them off 38-31. We got to remember the Mountaineers are a solid team, but my gosh, Iowa State. I mean, if there was ever a way to drop the ball, I mean, for real. Anyway, we had an overtime game, North Texas over Rice, 30-24, and I just bring it up because I like overtime games. So that happened. And, yeah, I mean, other than that, we had the usuals. Number 1, Georgia. I thought Florida would fight Georgia way better than this, and it wasn't. Georgia destroys Florida 34-7. Number 4, Oklahoma knocks off Texas Tech 52-21. We knew that was coming. Colorado and Oregon. We knew that wasn't going to be a very good game. Then it wasn't because Oregon just stomped all over Colorado 52-29. And yeah, so that's really, let me see. I think we have a few more like weirdo, crazy games here. But other than that, nothing crazy. Number 18, Auburn knocks off number 10, Ole Miss, 31-20. That is just a solid game. Auburn doesn't need to be overlooked. I mean, solid football game. Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky. It's weird to see them ranked in football at all, but they were number 12. Mississippi State reminded them that, well, they're not number 12, I guess, as they defeated them 31-17. Let's see here. Number 15, Oklahoma State will blow out Kansas 55-3. Just a couple weeks ago, Kansas had Oklahoma, the Sooners, on the ropes. Sad to say, that's not the case this time. So I guess that was a one-time deal. Kansas, what the hell? Houston knocks off number 19 SMU 44-37. USC wins the game. Yay! Where's the applause button? I'm sorry. Yay! 41-34. Yay! You almost lost to a team that has no wins. Yay! Whatever. Anyway, SC has been terrible this year, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Anyway, we're not going to talk about the game of the week, of course, Penn State and Ohio State until the end of the show, but a couple more games. BYU, number 25 BYU, puts up 66 points on Virginia, 66-49, and Fresno State, I mean, another weird year. They will defeat San Diego State, number 21 San Diego State, on the road, 30-20. I really thought San Diego State would win this game. And then the game to we might have to end the show after this game. I'm sorry, Teran, no more football for the day, but how in the hell has this happened? Stanford, seriously? Freaking seriously. You knock off USC, which, I mean, you know, that's a given because USC sucks this year. But yeah, defeated them. Then it's like you lose UCLA, which I don't know how. I mean, they're a solid football team, but I mean, really, Stanford? I mean, you knock off SC. SC and UCLA are still pretty much in the same, in my opinion. Then you go and freaking knock off number 3 Oregon in overtime. Okay, wow, that's pretty solid. The next week you lose to Arizona State. That's no knock on Arizona State, but yeah, you knocked off Oregon, who's number 3. Then you lose to Arizona, who's number 22. Am I missing something here? I mean, really. Then you lose to Washington State, 34-31, which makes 0 sense. And then you lose to the school who lost to freaking Montana, 20-13 yesterday in the Farm. Teran, I'm done. I'm going to go pour my coffee. Please talk to these people. I am freaking brain wrecked. Please, what happened?
Well, the Pac-12 as a whole has been crazy. It was actually quite the crazy day yesterday. Washington State, the team that you kind of briefly touched upon, they beat Arizona State 35-21, and then Utah thumped UCLA 44-24, and UCLA did not have the services of Dorian Thompson-Robinson as they had to turn to Ethan Garbers at quarterback, and he's theoretically a redshirt freshman. Well, he's actually a true freshman because he didn't get to play last year at Washington. So, all in all, the Pac-12 has been rather weird all over the place. A high-scoring game that I don't know if you touched upon, but Notre Dame knocked off North Carolina 44-34. And this dude right here, Kyron Williams, only a sophomore, was a phenomenal running back. He almost had 200 rushing yards. He had 1 rushing touchdown. And honestly, Notre Dame still looks solid, but they're not going to make that top 4, honestly, if we're being 100% honest. So obviously, we're going to be getting into Ohio State, Penn State rather soon. So yeah.
All right, Teran, I'm coming. I'm in the kitchen. Hold on a second. I'm walking my way over. But, yeah, with my cup of coffee. Sorry, I had to get that going. Heard everything you said, good sir. Yeah, Teran, this has been a weird freaking day of college football yesterday. I mean, isn't the night before Halloween called Mischief Night?
I think so, yeah.
Well, a lot of weird things did happen yesterday, but it was on the gridiron. I'm sorry, but I mean, wow, man. I'm sorry. And then, of course, the funniest game, man, was Michigan. I was watching this when I was getting my haircut. My barber and I were talking about, remember the punt on the last play of the game a couple years ago? Michigan State?
Oh, yeah.
I brought that up and we were laughing about it. But, dude, Michigan State, 8-0. I mean, it was just weird. Like I told you, it was weird to see Michigan State at 7-0. I mean, that's kind of mean to say, but they're just, I don't know. It's weird to see it. And then, of course, Michigan, man. 2 undefeated teams going at it. And, well, Michigan's starting to get the better of the Wolverines as they will defeat Michigan 37-33. This came with a touchdown, and with 5:08 to go, Kenneth Walker III scores here, 23-yard run into the end zone. Matt Coughlin, I'll butcher his name, will get the extra point, and there it is, man, 37-33. Defense does the rest, and there it is, man. What a solid freaking game from both of these teams, actually, but Michigan will be going down, and Michigan State, man, going up. I'm excited to see where they're going to go. With all this craziness happening, man, and I absolutely mean this, with all this craziness going on in the top four and everybody else, dude, I mean, it would be freaking crazy. I mean, Cincinnati's already in there, which is already nuts enough. Alabama's floating around. I mean, dude, if somebody knocks off Oklahoma or even Alabama again or something like that, I mean, seriously? Watch Michigan State over top freaking Ohio State and get in the top four somehow. I mean, wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, it would, and it would be a little bit of a breath of fresh air, considering we would see some original teams, and it would basically make everything more unique.
No, I agree, man. I totally agree with that, man. So, yeah, it's just nuts. Absolute nuts. But with that said, you guys, a little bit around the NJCAA football, man. Today, we got a good game on Halloween today coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Coffeyville taking on Independence. If I'm not mistaken, that's a rivalry. But Independence, very, very top team here, man, in the in the NJCAA. Sorry about that. And certainly solid here. So, good stuff. Yesterday, we had some top games. Highland over Dog City, big victory here over Highland, 27-21. Talk about a good game there. Let's see, where are some more top schools? Garden City defeats Butler knocks off Garden City in Bronco Buster Stadium in Garden City, Kansas. 24-23, solid game there by Butler. Man, I don't know if that was an upset, but it seems like it was. Iowa Western defeats Iowa Central 20-17, and overall good. Then you just have your blowouts like Mississippi Gulf Coast just destroying Southwest Mississippi 52-6. So yeah, of course you just have your different little games here and there. There were some. I don't know if there was a Friday game that was canceled. We had some Thursday games, of course, which NJCAA likes their Thursday games. Pretty cool, I guess. But really nothing here. Oh, Jones defeats Copia Lincoln, and that's their homecoming. Ouch. 21-7. East Mississippi, of course, everyone knows the Last Chance U. The first two seasons of the Last Chance U. 34-9 over Itawamba at home, on the road, and Northwest Mississippi over Mississippi Delta, 44-25. So just some notable games for you there. So with that said, Teran, what do you think, man? I mean, the NCAA, I know it's kind of weird. It just seems like it's a COVID year, man. I don't even know if we have the rankings up. We're just kind of following the games, but overall, man, any of those games you found surprising to you?
A couple, but I'm just wondering if they're going to have the championships this year.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and this also goes for the 3C2A as well. I imagine the 3C2A will have its championships because they're posting their rankings, but maybe we're missing it. Maybe we're just not. It's flying under the radar, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I need to. These websites are just so weird too because you just don't. There's nothing there. Like it's odd. It really is.
And remember, there's a Division 1 and Division 3 when it comes to the NJCAA. So they're gonna probably put certain teams in certain groups just so it's divided equally and it's fair. So that's some food for thought right there.
No, absolutely. It's been that's a trip. But so next up here. And this is always the hard one. For some reason, Teran always finds them. I don't. And, of course, that is the NAIA. overall, you guys, the NAIA this year has been pretty much like everywhere else. And we've had some just everything, even semi-pro, dude. Like, even our league that we play in right now, man. I mean, just the craziness has been something else. I mean, my goodness. So certain teams losing to certain teams, and it is just, it's wild, man. Like, it's just one of those, man. So, one of those years. So, with that said, I did find the scoreboard here for the NAIA. Regardless, it's not last week's scoreboard, which is kind of weird. It's going into next week's. So, unless he can find those, I just want to go over the rankings real fast. Once again, always just kind of weird having to navigate through these things. But as of right now, looks like we have in the overall top rankings. Let's take a look here and see what we've got. So, NAIA, always kind of tough to follow because, like I said, their website is just very misleading and nowhere near solid. But some top teams right now going down, man. We have here some undefeateds. The only undefeated teams right now are Morningside at 8-0, the defending 2019 champions. Lindsey Wilson, the defending spring, I guess you can say, champions from earlier this year, because COVID just wanted to, destroy the world last year. Northwestern at 9-0, Kansas Westland at 9-0, and Grandview also at 9-0. So the NAIA, man, it's pretty solid football here. Teran, did you find anything for these scores yesterday?
Yeah, I'm at the scores, but it's not letting me go backward.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on. I think maybe you got to scroll down. So,
there we go.
When it comes to the scores,
yeah,
it's weird though. Why would you have that? Why would you configure it like that?
Very lame. So let's take a look at some of these top scores here and see from yesterday. Let's see. Top schools only really right now, so our apologies to everybody else. But Reinhardt actually over St. Andrews 63-18 this week. Solid game for them. Let's just see how some of these schools ended up with some of the big ones and maybe why some of them ended up where they are. So there we go. Lindsey Wilson having a tough game, man. 41-30 though. They will beat Bethel, Tennessee. Solid game there. Certainly giving them that high rank because they are not giving it up, man. Ottawa would give a fight to Kansas Westland, but still Westland earns that victory 35-21 at home. Very good game there. Baker over Benedictine. I don't know if that's a rivalry game or not, but every time these two teams play, it's a pretty solid game, man. These scores have been pretty close. Baker, though, 28-23, winning that game there. Next up, we have here, let's see, any more solid. Grandview over Peru State, 27-7 there. Another pretty good game. And I think that's it for all these top schools, at least at the moment. But, Teran, any of those games surprising you or anything like that?
Well, Morningside, I was able to. Well, no, this one wasn't surprising, but Morningside stayed undefeated. They beat Jamestown 70-7, which they were up 56-7 at halftime. So at least they didn't run the score up to like 100. I'll give them that much, but still, holy Moses!
Yeah, that's quite the beatdown, man. I don't even know, man. That's a little toughy right there. So.
But Morningside is legit good.
No, they are. And it's certainly a solid school. And really, just teams you want to root for in the NAIA, man. Just that's really what it comes down to.
This was a good game. Sorry to cut you off, but this was a good game. College of Idaho against Southern Oregon, winning 17-15. Southern Oregon was up 9-0 at halftime, and then College of Idaho was able to outscore them 17-6 en route to winning. So good stuff there. And Southern Oregon tried to go for 2, but unfortunately it did not work. And eventually College of Idaho was able to get the win. And that was a noteworthy game. I don't know how good College of Idaho is as well as Southern Oregon, but honestly, that's a game right there.
No, that really is a football game. Way to pull that one out there, Teran. Great stuff there. I do want to mention this, man. Good stuff with Division 3 this week as well. Freaking RPI, man. They knock off Ithaca, number 15 Ithaca, 14-11 at home. That's a weirdo score. And I love me some weirdo scores, man. So, good stuff there. Then we go on to number 24, Washington and Jefferson defeating Grove City on the road, 28-24. Solid football game there. 10, we have a beatdown candidate here of the week. Number 11, Salisbury will destroy Christopher Newport, 84-8 to 14. So, solid game there. Hobart, which is the alma mater of right guard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, block over Tom Brady, Super Bowl winning champion Buccaneers, by the way. Hobart, Ali Marpet went there once again. Union, number 12, Union defeats them 27-12. Let's see here. That's 27-20. Muhlenberg, the Mules, defeat Franklin and Marshall 27-20. Muhlenberg, or 27-10. Muhlenberg at 17. We have here number 18, oh boy, Shashkawana, I believe, falling to number 20, Johns Hopkins. Look at that, 38-17. Good stuff there. Mary Hardin Baylor over Belhaven, 29-0. I guess once again some of these big time games here that you want to see. Ohio Northern giving Mount Union all they can handle. Mount Union hanging on, but the number 4 Purple Raiders will prevail in this game, 42-35 at home. This is just sad. Number 5, St. John's, 81-0 over St. Scholastica. Oh my goodness, you gotta love D3 football, man. So, overall, a lot of these were just big-time blowouts. Some of these were actually pretty solid football games. But when it comes down to it, I think we all see right now the direction where, this season is going to be headed. North Central out of Illinois, the Division III champs from 2 years ago, they defeated Milliken 54-27, and they're still number 1 above the ranks right now. Teran, what do you think, man? I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, let's take a look at next week. If I'm not mistaken, that was it, Teran. I think if we take a look at the calendar, next week, yeah, we do have one more week, I believe, next week, and then I think playoffs, man. So, let's see. There is a week 11. And I think the playoffs are set coming up here. So, yeah, Teran, I mean, as of right now, man, we're going to have ourselves pretty solid playoffs in Division 3, aren't we?
Yeah, can we just bask in the glory that there were a lot of close games in NCAA Division 3. Like, there were quite a bit of close scores. I don't know if this was the norm, but it's kind of refreshing to see some close games instead of some. I mean, there were some one-sided games, but there were more close games in NCAA Division III than I expected.
Yeah, you and me both, man. I completely agree. There were some great games there, and the playoffs are just so much fun. Like, my goodness, the day that Formula 1, brother. The day that the Division 1, the FCS, pulls their head out of their rear ends and says, let's do a tournament like this. I mean, seriously, man, these playoffs are so much fun and just great football, man. So let's head on into D2 right now. And Slippery Rock defeating Gannon 63-21. Slippery Rock currently number 16 in the country. Looking pretty solid. Really, a lot of these top-ranked teams had no issue this week, it looks like. And it looks like I think we stayed pretty much the same. Number 1, Ferris State defeating Northern Michigan 44-24. Like I said, Teran, really, man, when it comes down to it, none of these D2 top schools look like they were in any distress with any of the teams they faced this week. And it just, certainly looks like we all stayed the same this past week. Well, we did have a tough one, but this is just number 25. But Albany State versus Morehouse. We had 14-10. So they would close game there, but Albany State pulls that thing out on the road, and really, man, I don't really see anything else except for a bunch of big scores to little scores when it comes to the top-ranked teams around the country in Division II. Grand Valley actually struggled with Michigan Tech. Here we go, 14-9. And looking down the scoreboard, we had a ranked on ranked, and man, this was not even close. Northwest Missouri, I remember seeing them a couple years back. I don't know if it was a national championship or somewhere in there, but I remember seeing a really cool message on their back. Instead of having their last names, man, they actually had in big red letters. Their colors are green and white, and in big red letters, how cool is this, Teran? They had the word family on their nameplate.
Nice. That really is awesome. And it must have been probably because someone in their program passed away or something like that, or someone at the school passed away.
Which is really sad if that were the case. But regardless, I remember seeing that a couple years ago, and I thought that was pretty cool, really neat message. And, well, Northwest Missouri still a top school, man, still a very strong school. 66-13 over Nebraska Kearney, number 17. But other than that, like I said, Teran, it's a lot of blowouts. Colorado Mesa, number 22 versus number 23, Western Colorado. Western Colorado wins this one 23-9 at home, and yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Really, I don't see nothing more. I mean, West Florida taking care of business, 63-28 over Mississippi College. Big time beat down there on the road. We did have one. Okay, now this had to have been the game of the week or something, man. Because yesterday, number 4 West Georgia, yes, taking on number 2 Valdosta State. Teran, what the crap, man? Valdosta State winning this game 36-34. I wish we had the stats on this game, man. 2-point game here. And, wow, just what a solid football game. And looks like, unfortunately for West Georgia, they're going to be going down. But for Valdosta State, they're going to be pretty solid going into the playoffs. What a football game, man. How about that? Two Georgia schools going head-to-head, and only 2 points will be the difference.
So, yeah, that was quite the game right there. And I actually do see these stats when it comes to both teams.
Nice.
And one of VSU's players had 150 rushing yards.
Woo!
As long as with 63, he had 1 touchdown. Other running back, Durham, had 2 touchdowns, 72 rushing yards. And they didn't really air it out, so VSU must be a great running team by chance. And then as for West Georgia, they weren't really like the best offensively, but their quarterback Frost had 3 touchdowns and whatnot, but turnovers were kind of the case, as they had 2 fumbles and Frost had an interception. So it was that right there, and all in all, it was a thriller of a game.
It really was, and this is just exciting, man. I mean, great football overall, and just you gotta love D2 football, man. Of course, West Florida looking solid. I really think these playoffs are going to be a lot of fun to watch as well, and we're going to be excited to follow this, man. So, with that said, of course, last but never least, the FCS Division I.
Wait, Larry.
I don't
know if you got this score, but Renor Rhine upset Wingate 31-26.
Oh, Lenore Ryan, man, solid school. If I'm not mistaken, Teran, and I want to say this, and I totally forgot if this was the school. Man, I want to remember his name, but if I'm not mistaken, the Patriots drafted a player from Lenore Ryan a few years ago, and people were like, he's insane, Belichick's insane. But what is that? He's a safety, if I'm not mistaken. But, oh my gosh, why am I drawing blanks right now, man? But yes, the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken, did draft somebody from Lenore Ryan a couple of years ago when everyone thought that, once again, crazy Belichick. But I'm just saying, crazier things had happened. And yes, it was Kyle Duggar. Remember him?
Yep.
Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Ryan. Wow, so they pulled off the upset, huh?
Yep, indeed.
Congratulations, man. Yeah, they selected Lenore Ryan safety Kyle Duggar, 37th pick in the 2020 draft, man. So, hey, athletes come out of that school, man. So, good stuff there, man. Solid game. And certainly good stuff there. And there it is. So, let's go ahead and move on now to the FCS. And, well, this is, if the craziness is going to be in every division, every conference, every sanctioning body, the AA section is not going to be left out. So, dude, there was some crazy games as well in this, I guess get so stuck sometimes with sanctioning body and all those words and everything. But in AA, man, there were also some great games. And, well, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love when you see some of these games being played as hard as you see them. And, great stuff this past week. And let me see, I'm looking for some of these here. Montana, the Grizzlies. Let me say right now, Southern Utah must be a hell of a team, man, because I'm not gonna let this go. Washington, they've definitely seen better years, but my goodness, man, the Grizzlies, 6-2 on the year, and one of those 6 victories is over FBS Division I Single A Washington. Well, it wasn't a victory, but Teran, when the Grizzlies enter at 5-2. And, they have an FBS victory under their belt. And you play a team who is 1-8 or 1-7 on the year. You think it's going to be a blowout, right? It has to be, right?
Yep.
Wrong. Freaking Montana, man. It will be a close football game. But Montana will hang on to win it. 20-19 over SUU, Southern Utah. I just got to give props to Southern Utah, man. They almost pulled it off. Now, it wasn't an upset, but my gosh, if it would have happened, what a freaking game. But yeah, big time victory there for Montana because, well, it wouldn't have looked very good if they would have lost that game. Just saying. They're trying to make their stake right now for the highest bid they can get in the tournament coming up. So certainly good one there. 2 juggernauts in the tournament of the last decade or so, at least the last decade. Former champions of Division I AA. We have Youngstown State losing to South Dakota State. The Jacks, of course, the Jacks are monstrous. 47-16. South Dakota wins on the road. Very good football game there. Then we have, let's see if there was anything else. Hey, Teran! It's the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. We're going to get into a couple of teams from, well, at least one team from here. Freaking San Diego. And I don't know if this is the, USD is the Toreros, right?
Yes, the Toreros.
Okay, because I always get so confused. Toreros and Tritons, right?
UCSD is the Tritons. USD is the Toreros. Don't worry, I got that mixed up one time.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. But yeah, dude, San Diego wins a nice victory, dude. 5-4 on the year. Do you think San Diego's going to get in the tournament, man?
Well, they're starting to resurge at the best time, but it could be the case of too little, too late. And they got to such a rocky start to begin the season with that loss to Cal Poly. And we'll have to see. But San Diego is kind of peaking at the right time, so we'll have to see in the later weeks.
Agreed, man. Agreed. But nice victory over Valparaiso, man. Victory over Valpo, 21-14. Teran, that's a solid football game, man. 14-14 the entire freaking game. And, actually, no, 14, not the entire game, but 14-13 at the end of the third quarter. And with 1 minute, 15 seconds to go, Mason Randall on the 15-yard run into the end zone. It was a pass to Christian Brown for a 2-point conversion, and yeah, Randall got it in there, and then Randall to Christian Brown for the 2-point conversion, 21-14 with like a minute. What was that? A minute and 15 seconds to go, and they'll win this game at home. So big victory for them. Let's take a look here. Cal Poly, as you just mentioned right now, they will drop one to Portland State, and guess once again one of those weirdo years. Cal freaking Poly knocked off San Diego this year, as you heard Teran saying, 28-17. That's the last victory they would get. Because they have currently gone on a 7-game slide, man, as Portland State just knocks them off last night again. I mean, you know, for the season for the poor Broncos. Broncos, right? Mustangs. I was close. They're horses.
Yeah, close.
But yeah, man, Portland State getting this victory here, 42-21. A nice victory for the Pilots, if I'm not mistaken, of Portland State. I don't want to butcher them, but I think. Oh no, I'm sorry. Are they the Vikings?
I think they're the Vikings because Portland is the Pilots. Portland State is the Vikings. Portland is the Pilots.
Dude, we gotta get these mascots down.
It's all good.
At least I do. So, yeah, man. So, last night, Portland State, big victory there. And then Sam Houston over Tarleton State, 45-27. Just overall, crazy games, man. But, Teran, I know, I was want to... And then take a look at the standings right now, currently. Well, we can't even get to those right now because there's so much going on. But plus, we got to end the show pretty soon because I can get all over the defining moment. But Teran, any thoughts here on the AA?
For the FCS, yeah, I'm actually surprised San Diego is resurging, and it could be a good case to see if they'll get in. But it looks like Sam Houston State is still being the dominant force that they are, and they could be repeating, so we'll have to check back to see what happens going forward. But I think the FCS is going to be getting down to the wire. Dayton also had themselves this impressive victory over Butler, so we got to keep an eye on this. So.
I agree, good sir. So, Teran, last thing we're talking about today, of course, is the game of the week last night. Penn State versus Ohio State. I mean, when Penn State comes to town... Oh, when Ohio State comes to town, they love to do the whiteout, of course. At least I've seen that one time. And then Ohio State, I don't know what they do, but I know the shoe was rocking. Last night, number 20, Penn State will roll on in to take on number 5, Ohio State. Ohio State will take one loss this year. And boy, that was a surprise, as they would fall earlier this season to Oregon. I'm not going to lie to you. I definitely agree that, you know, I mean, we got to support our Pac-12 teams, but I'm not the biggest fan of Oregon for obvious reasons, fought on USC. But I really didn't think this was going to be that good of a game. I thought Ohio State was just going to, it might have been a 2-touchdown game, maybe 3-touchdown game, but Oregon came with their big boy pants and smacked Ohio. I mean, didn't smack them, but my gosh, might as well. It's a victory in the shoe, and that's hard to do. Well, that's the last time they lost, and Ohio State has gone on a nice little streak since then. And Penn State has, I don't know, dude, they're another roller coaster team where they play some great games, and then it's like, wow, you lost that? How did you lose that? I mean, I don't know. They lost to freaking Illinois in 9 overtimes last week, so that was crazy. But Penn State, man, will get clunked on the head again as Ohio State wins this one 33-24. Teran, take us through this game, brother.
So, for starters, at least Penn State didn't lose in 9 overtimes, but Ohio State basically controlled most of the game. They were only up 17-10 at halftime, and then Penn State was starting to make its case. Sean Clifford is a little underrated, in my opinion, and he tried to will Penn State back to victory on his own. And at the end of the third, Penn State was right there. They were within striking distance, but Ohio State was able to distance themselves. They didn't get the touchdowns that they wanted, but they were able to distance themselves with field goals, and then their defense came up big against the Penn State offense, and I think that pretty much knocks Penn State out of the contention of, first and foremost, the college football playoff. Second and foremost, most likely the Big Ten championship. So you look at Ohio State's schedule, they have Nebraska next week, should be a win. Then Purdue most likely a win, but then the last two are going to be rather toughies. As they played Michigan State, then they're at the Big House against Michigan. And I'm just going to say this: I don't really like the alignment. I think they got to get rid of this whole two-conference thing and have the two best teams face one another. And that goes not only for the Big Ten, but for the Pac-12 and then some of these other conferences that are like using the whole East versus West or North versus South or any of those two things. It's rather inconvenient because you look at the Big Ten West, the best team in that conference is Minnesota, and they aren't even ranked. Well, Iowa was number 9, and they're about to slip even further. So,
I agree, Teran. And that's the I don't know. This has been such crazy. I mean, I love seeing the craziness, but then again, man, some of this craziness is just irritating me. I mean, Teran, is it so much to ask that we just get a freaking tournament like the rest of the NCAA for Division I? I mean, really, Teran, do you ever see that happening? I just want to know. Like, give me your honest opinion. Do you ever see that happening ever?
It should, yeah. I mean, if NCAA football wants to boost its ratings and they're all about the money and whatnot, then they got to have they got to expand the playoff. Like, it really is not fair that it's only 4 teams, and it's stupid, rather. So, we'll see. I think it should happen in the near future, and hopefully the commissioners and everyone wants to pull their heads out of their and they gotta get on board with this.
I agree, Teran.
Certain teams could be left out. Certain talented teams could be left out, and they'll most likely put in the teams that'll bring in more revenue and money, which is not a recipe for success.
I agree, and yeah, Teran, it's just, this is sucky, So I just would love to see that happen. I really think we need it, and it's frustrating to see. It's just frustrating sometimes, and us as fans, it's like, we would love to see November Madness. I mean, how amazing would that be,
It would be amazing for November Madness. I would be all for that. I'm all for the chaos.
Oh my gosh. I mean, bowl season could be a thing of the past. Or why, if they're so worried about their freaking money, Teran, why can't they just name the playoff games bowl games? I mean, seriously, the first round, you have, all the littler games. And how cool would that be, Teran? The first round, the round of, I don't know what the hell it would be, but the first round where all the teams play, that could be the Cheetos Bowl and the freaking Cheez-It Bowl and the Tax Slayer Bowl and the Gator Bowl and the New Mexico Bowl. And how cool would it be if all of those games, and then you have big teams like Oklahoma playing in those games? You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. Can we figure something out? I mean, because it's nonsense having to just be if UCF would have gone in there, because I'm one of those people who are like, dude, UCF could have ran the table, and nobody wants to give them their props a couple years ago. I don't know. I'm just one of those. I can't help it. I just love to see it, and, well, who knows? Who knows what will ever happen, but, we're just hoping. So, with that said, my boy, it has been real. Tim, where can these diehards find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Teran Rodriguez 1. You can also follow me on my Set Point and SoCal Supreme Sports Show accounts. Set Point is at set_point.ie, and then SoCal Supreme Sports Show is at SoCal Show IESR. That's where you can find me. But my main Twitter content is at Teran Rodriguez 1.
Well, thank you, sir. You can find me over there at the TheeLB53. And, of course, check out, every week the Defining Moment coming on, literally right after the show. And, of course, all the great shows that we do. I'm telling you, Cecilia and I will be back. Big news for us, and there's a reason why we haven't done the show again, but awesome stuff going on here in our household, and we're just very happy and excited. So lots of big things, and big ups to our sponsors, the SoCal Warriors, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, we fell short yesterday, and I'm very bummed out about that. Small showing of players and just nonsense happening yesterday on the field. Not going to get into it, but whatever. It is what it is. Mercury won fair and square, and there it is. So we lost yesterday, 32-26. It wasn't our day. We still made the playoffs, even with a 4-6 record, which just bums me out. But I scored my first career touchdown. Yay! So, I'm excited. Scoop and score fumble, you guys. So really happy for that. And unfortunately, it was in vain. We didn't get the victory, but it's all good. We're going to the playoffs next week, and I think we're going to play the Disciples or the Kings. We're going to find out, and that will be that. So with that said, you guys, that will do it for today's show. And, well, there's only one more thing to say. Cue the music! Because we're out of here! Alrighty, y'all. That is going to do it for our show here today. It has been real. Teran, any last thoughts, comments, concerns about college football, my brother?
Well, the college football season is pretty much reaching its climax, and these teams are going to be jockeying for position in every sort of conference. Just guys, mention one thing is that Georgia's already clinched a spot in the SEC championship as Kentucky lost and they won. So Georgia's going to be dancing in the SEC championship.
No.
Two remains to be seen. So, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you are good. That's going to be exciting, brother.
Mm-hmm. And more importantly, people, don't run up the score if you're dominating a team. That's not cool.
Don't be mean. But there you guys. That's going to do it for today's show. Big ups to SoCal Warriors. You can follow them on Twitter at SoCal Warriors. Of course, on Facebook at SouthCalifornia_Warriors. And on Facebook, Southern California Warriors. Give them a like. Also, Kit Freeman, man. Show them some love. Background Check International. If you're a business and want your business to run right with great employees, make sure to go ahead and check him out. www.bcint.com or Facebook. Background Checks International space BCI. Check him out. Get your background checks for your professional businesses only, not used for anything illegal. So, with that said, you guys, Teran and I will be back next Saturday to talk some more college, high school, and all things not the NFL football. We'll see you then, y'all. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.